Before we get started, I'd like to briefly explain my 7 energy point chakra spread. The cards on the left are the unconscious inner self. The card in the center is the heart. And the 3 cards on the right are the conscious foreself. The card on the bottom left is the base of your spine. It's a combination of many things, from past lives to tragic or cherished childhood memories up to the present. We're always culling and bringing new things into our lives and evolving. That's why I'm calling it sourcings and urgings instead of foundation. The second card up is your pelvic or sacrum. And this is awakening or arousing. This is where your spiritual awakening is, and growth of all kinds, and includes your sexual prowess. This can be a cosmic life breath. The cosmos has natural laws that live in harmony, but we don't always live in harmony with them. The top left-hand card is the solar plexus, or what I consider sensing and feeling. This is where you get those gut feelings about something when they're right or wrong. This is also a universal life force, contrary to a cosmic life breath. This is where chaos ensues in our lives. The center card is the heart of the matter, or the situation. We're always asking questions. Why did this happen, and what's going to happen next? The heart of the matter must connect with the unconscious and the conscious, so we can leave our shadow self in the dust. Another Jungian reality here. And maybe have more of an understanding of what's happening in our lives. The card on the bottom right is the throat, or what I consider communicating and teachings. It has to do with how we accept the rules of society and how we live our life. Are you living a conservative, orthodox life, or more of a new wave, do what you want kind of life? The second card up is the third eye, or seeing or envisioning. It's more of bringing things from a linear to a 3-dimensional perspective. The third eye is our pineal gland in the center of our brain that's activated by light. So this can also be considered enlightenment. The card on the top right is the crown, our knowing and understanding. You can have a lot of knowledge, but if you cannot apply this knowledge wisely, it's not wisdom. In the past, I used to pull a hidden Rider-Waite card as I was doing the readings, but for logistic reasons, I'm going to be pulling all of the cards at once, and then putting these clarification cards alongside each of the main cards as I'm telling the story of the reading. The subtitles will direct you through this so you don't lose track of what's going on and where I'm at and what card I'm reading. And then on the left, I'll be putting a past card, and on the right, I'll be putting a future card, and on with the readings. Hi there, Libra. I hope you noticed I won't be doing a Messages of the Angel card reading, and in lieu, I'll be doing a rune reading associated to my tarot reading. Now, below the center cards, there's a small rune on the back of a miniature Rider-Waite card so you can see it. I've had these runes forever, and I never thought I'd be using them on YouTube, and they're quite small. So I might have to get some bigger ones, because I do plan on doing some more future rune readings. I have a connection to the runes. I spent part of my childhood near a very famous rune stone, and I feel like they're kind of kindred spirits. Now, while you're listening to my reading, think of a yes or no question for something you desire, because I'm playing an 8-ball game, and at the end of it we'll get the answer. Now, I know everybody is having a hard time, or had a hard time in April. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but things look much better in May. The planetary aspects are very harmonious, and the commanding energy is air and fire, and air combusts fire, so everything's meshing well, and it has this easy breezy feeling to it. In April, one of the main themes was having a massive amount of emotional baggage, to the point where I thought people needed a claim check when they left the house. And for your reading too, up in your pelvic and sacrum, you received the Six of Cups, the card of memories and of childhood memories. And it seems to be a pivotal thing for you is that you're going to leave your past behind. Let's go see what your reading has to say. I'm going to start with your past two cards. I did a clarification card for the past two. And over in the past, you received the King of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Now, the King of Swords is like a mini emperor. The emperor runs his empire, and the king runs his kingdom with rules and regulations, verbal and written. He's the apex of structure and organization, and evidently that's the way you've recently been running your life. Everything's been in its place. And he's also one that's exchanged his chainmail for a courtroom and makes judgments. And he oversees words and the validity of the words. And what type of accolades or punishment should be weighed with these words. Now the clarification card is the Three of Pentacles. I call this the Architect card. It's about building, construction. And it's also about a lot of people being on the same page and supporting this structure. So your past has been very positive. But in a funny way, it's been kind of somewhat sterile. And you've focused on the more material things and not the spiritual things. And that's where it comes in the base of your spine. You receive the Hermit and the Fool. In your own little private universe, you started to think that maybe you should do some soul searching and some self-discovery, because that's what the Hermit is about. There's an ethereal aura that you felt was missing, and you wanted to find it. You desired to change your unconscious self. And what better to have a clarification card of the Fool? A journey of self-discovery and where your little mini universe fits into the big picture. You're looking for enlightenment from the Hermit's lamp and guidance from his staff. Wisdom equals good judgment, and you've had good judgment on the earthly plane in your past. Now you want to have a new awakening, or a reawakening. Something that makes you feel alive again and feel the delight of life. And happy to be alive. You want to find your higher self and open it up like the blossom of a flower. Bring all the energy in. And wisdom is about good judgment. And as you see in the center for the heart of the matter, you see the Judgment card and the Hermit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go up to the upper cards above the Hermit and the Fool. And for your sacrum and your pelvic for awakening and arousing, you receive the Six of Cups and the World card. Now the Six of Cups is about memories, childhood memories. And not all of them are good. Sometimes we have our rose-colored glasses on and we idolize, and distort the past. And when we take our rose-colored glasses off, we find disappointment. So a lot of times you don't want to take these glasses off. But here for the clarification card of the World, it's saying that you're coming to an end of a cycle. You're in completion. All of a sudden, you're saying, yeah, I'm going to push this past aside. And just remember the good things. I am so done with the past you're thinking. And you learned a lot of harsh lessons. And you earned your wings to finally set this all aside. And now you're changing. And that's reinforced by the cards up above for your solar plexus. You received the Moon and the Tower. two commanding cosmic major arcana cards. You know, you went past the nature of man cards and the awakening cards and went right into now the major cosmic change cards. And it is, you're looking for a spiritual change. And you realize from the moon card that things weren't what they really appeared to be. The reflective light of the moon can instill fear and distort the path that you're walking. It can give it a dreamy atmosphere of surrealism. And the next natural thing to happen is the collapse of the tower. This wasn't just fault lines running underneath the tower. This is a collapse. It's not a fatal collapse. It was a predetermined collapse, that it was time to let go of your past. And Libras are always trying to balance things out. And in the past you had a heavy weight on one side for your materialism, but you weren't dealing with your spiritualism. And all of a sudden spiritualism had more meaning to it. You wanted to find a deeper meaning to life. And now you're dealing with your unconscious self and trying to connect it to your conscious foreself. You're trying to make peace in your inner self. And this is reinforced by the center cards for the heart of the matter. You see the Judgment and Hermit. Now you could be judging somebody, but I believe you were more like judging yourself. And the Judgment card is about forgiveness and grace. Grace is unconditional forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself and others. And when you do, this is when you're ready for a rebirth. And being the phoenix that arises from the combustion of a small ball of myrrh. And this is where you rediscover yourself and do a reawakening. Because you see the clarification card, the Hermit, he has his lamp right over Judgment. He's looking for enlightenment. He's looking for the illumination of light. And illumination means enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment in Latin. Your discovery is you. You're trying to balance out the material and the spiritual inside you. Now down at the throat, for communicating and teaching, you receive the Eight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. The material things in your life have worked out, and also you have many talents and skills. And you've utilized these skills to forward yourself in life, but the Page of Swords he's very immature and doesn't have a lot of emotional control. And I think that's where you were at too, is that spiritually you lacked emotional control of your spiritual self. The Page of Swords is one of those party crashing kind of guys that everybody looks and sees him come through the door and goes, oh no, he's here again. He's really charming and he's full of all kinds of ideas. Pages bring ideas and news. Knights launch these ideas into action. Queens bring understanding after some experience. And kings assist you in attaining your long-term goals. So now this is kind of indicating that although you're a skilled and talented person, earthly-wise, you're still a neophyte or feeling that way in the spiritual realm. Now up above in your third eye for seeing and envisioning, you receive the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands. Now the wheel is on your side. The fates of fortune are on your side. This is a window of time to jump through because it's an auspicious time to take advantage of what the wheel offers. And the King of Wands is about inspiration, determination. He's fire energy. He's the thinker, a problem solver. He can also be the harbinger of spiritual transformation, and that's what you're doing with the Hermit and the Fool. The Wands bring a creative atmosphere into the party. And up above for the crown for knowing and understanding, receive the King of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Now you had the Three of Pentacles down in the past. This is the same energy. Down in the past you've got the King of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, and up here you've got the King of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. We got three kings commiserating here. And as I said, kings assist you in attaining your long-term goals. And you haven't stopped building. But the King of Cups is about controlling your emotions and not being the Page of Swords down there. He's about taking turbulent waters and making them quiescent. And balancing your unconscious inner self with your conscious foreself. He wants you to master your passionate, emotional self for this spiritual renewal. And between the King of Swords and the King of Cups, you want to balance your intellect with your emotions. Now we've discussed the connection between your past and your crown, so let's skip over to the future. And you receive the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Wands. And the Tower collapsed for a rebuilding. It's time for you to make some decisions, because the Seven of Cups is about difficult decisions. Right now you have some splayed energy. And it's time to reorganize and be the King of Swords again. But each cup holds a prize or a poison, and you have to be real careful about what you choose. And you have to decide which cups to choose and which to lose. But the clarification card is the Ace of Wands, and it's a cosmic spiritual new beginning. So it's saying, yeah, you'll make the right decisions here. Because the Ace of Wands is saying this is the beginning of a fruitful endeavor for ingenuity, physical challenges, and sexuality. It's like heaven is giving the earthly plane a message of good fortune. And it's time to take on new ventures with passion. And it's time to firmly grip your wand and take control of your life's direction. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.